You can decapitate orcs and write poetry.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive.
No.
Welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Jonathan Decker. I'm a licensed therapist and I love the cinema.
I am Alan Seawright. I am an unlicensed filmmaker and I really need therapy.
I'm here for you. I'm here for all of you. Okay, so going right for the jugular, buzzword, toxic masculinity.
I've heard of that.
You want to flare up some people on the interwebs, you just type in the words toxic masculinity. Don't even leave a comment or even give any context. Just say that phrase and watch the explosion.
I can just feel the MRA people like tuning up their keyboards to come after us.
Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.
And the whole concept that as it was explained to me is that there are aspects of traditional masculinity that are positive and healthy and wonderful, right? Providing, protecting, being brave, being determined, being ambitious, all these things.
Sure.
And then there's an underbelly of that, which is homophobic or misogynistic or tries to assert control and dominance through violence and aggression.
Right.
Struggles to be vulnerable, struggles to be accountable, and has a hard time with vulnerability in other people.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
And so I always kind of parsed it out, like there's nothing wrong with being a man, but you just want to be balanced.
Right.
An example of what we would call non-toxic masculinity is Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings, because he embodies all of these traditionally strong macho characteristics, but all of the humility and tenderness and goodness and kindness and nurturing and vulnerable.
Dude, at his own coronation, sings a song with flower petals falling on him.
He does. He does.
He is fine with his masculinity. He's set.
So we're going to dive in and we're going to take a look at some examples of why Aragorn is basically the ultimate non-toxic male.
Yep.
First of all, he's brave.
For Frodo.
He's strong. He provides for those in his care.
How long do you need?
He's a protector.
As long as you can give me.
He's hardworking. He's got grit and survival skills.
I do not fear them.
He's chivalrous and respectful to women.
I would have gone with you to the end.
He's determined.
Into the very fires of Mordor.
He's not initially ambitious, but he kind of grows into desiring to be a king.
Long have I eluded you.
Well, and he's not desiring to be a king because he wants to be a king. He's desiring to be a king because he sees, these people need leadership that I can provide. But he's also intelligent enough to recognize that, well, I can probably provide better leadership than anyone else who's offering.
I think Helm's Deep is really where he discovers that. Because before Helm's Deep, he has no ambition to be the king of Gondor, to wield the sword. But he sees the people in need. He does what he needs to do. And then by the time it's done, it's like, wow,
Guess I'm pretty good at this.
I kind of got the job done. But even then, like his ambition is really about everybody else.
Yeah.
But so these are all the ways that, and I think this is why when men watch Lord of the Rings, they really attach to Aragorn, right? Because he's not some little hobbit. He's a man wielding a broadsword, and he's just tough, and then it almost like slides in under the radar. By the way, you can be that type of man without being a total a-hole.
Yeah, you can decapitate orcs and write poetry.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive.
No.
Aragorn takes what we would normally call negative masculine traits and replaces them with a more positive, healthy masculinity. So I actually don't want to talk about toxic masculinity. I prefer the phrase limiting masculinity.
Okay.
There are ideas about what it is to be a man that actually limit the experience for men like us, right? For example, men aren't supposed to cry. That makes them less manly.
I'm not upset because you left me this way. My eyes are just a little sweaty today.
Another idea from limiting masculinity is this idea that showing any emotion at all, not just crying or vulnerability, like we don't show emotion, we're completely stoic. The two acceptable emotions are anger and lust.
Right.
Right? Those are the emotions that men can show. And if you show anything else,
I have to know if she's all right. Why? Because I love her.
if you show any other emotion, then you're gay.
All right.
guy?
Homophobia is a huge part of limiting masculinity. Speaking of which, limiting masculinity says don't get physically close to any guy in any context other than fighting, because if you do, you're automatically queer. It's this huge homophobic thing.
Ted, you're alive! Yeah! I fell out of my shoe when I hit the floor. Bag.
Wow, that did not age well.
No, it did not.
So we're going to watch the scene right now where Aragorn basically completely destroys all of the limiting masculinity stereotypes that you see. And I dare you to not cry. I know I'm going to. And you're not going to make fun of me this time.
They took the little ones. Stay still.
So leading up to this, Boromir has made his last stand.
And let Frodo
Fought
go.
bravely. Yeah.
Then you did what I could not. I tried to take the ring from him.
Look how Boromir holds
Hand
his
on the head.
Beyond our reach now. Forgive me. I did not see. I have failed you all. No, Boromir. You fought bravely. You have kept your honor. Leave it. It is over. I do not know what strength is in my blood, but I swear to you I will not let the White City fall. Nor our people fail. Our people. Our people.
So we were planning on doing some commentary through this, but it's just
The
so...
movie's too good.
The movie's too good. But also it speaks for itself. I mean, look
It
at
really
the...
does. It's so beautifully shot. There's a lot of, hidden filmmaking that's happening. There's color grading to make things a little more autumnal and feel a little more like death is
somber.
coming in.
Yeah.
I would have followed you, my brother.
This writing is just
My captain.
fantastic. Some of it's out of Tolkien and some of it's adapted from the book, but
My king.
come on.
Yeah. Look at the unadulterated love that Boromir looks on Aragorn with,
It's respect and admiration and love.
Aragorn, really tough warrior, alpha male, has no problem openly mourning,
Peace. Son of Gondor.
and so tender-hearted towards his comrade. Has no problem with physical touch, has no problem with respecting somebody else instead of having to be the alpha.
And this is a man who, his father challenges Aragorn
But he will not return.
and defies his rightful rule of an entire kingdom.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even, that's beside the point. Once they become brothers in arms, they are brothers and he mourns him like a brother. And there we go.
Oh, well, what you're doing right now, though, is modeling exactly what we're talking about, though. Like, I don't think you're any less of a man. Let's break this down. No problem with touching. No problem with being openly, I would say, affectionate.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tender-hearted, right? And like you said, he literally just sliced the arm and head off an orc. And he
Yeah.
segues straight into this,
Yeah.
right?
It's,
Now-
I mean, you cannot go from a more violent, manly act than what Aragorn just did to this. And it's,
Yeah.
to him, it's not two different opposite sides of my personality. It's just, this is just who
Yeah.
I am. I'm a man, I do these things, and I do these things.
How he cries, how he mourns, how he speaks softly, he kisses his forehead softly, how he reassures, right? Reassuring, consoling, nurturing are traditionally feminine traits. He has no problem looping that into who he is, because both men and women can be masculine and feminine. Some people say men are rational and women are emotional. Men are just as emotional as women.
Yeah,
The damaging thing is we are told you cannot express it.
right.
Right? And so if I'm a man and I'm hurting or I'm afraid, well, I can't say that I'm hurting or afraid. I can't show that. So it has to come out as anger because that is strong.
Yeah.
But what that does is that pushes people away. And what I love about Aragorn, if I can say
And
this,
it also damages you psychologically. If you,
Yeah.
I'm sure on a neurological level,
yeah,
changes happen chemically within your brain that make you respond to things with anger instead of more natural emotions, because those natural emotions you push down and hide.
Yeah.
And you replace them with anger to at least show something.
Because men don't show fear, men
Right.
don't show weakness, right? All these things. And if I can say this, what I love about Aragorn's violence is it's protective, it's not dominant.
Right.
For Aragorn, violence is a last resort to protect and to defend. Now let's talk about traditional masculinity and men's relationship to women. This is where we have a divergence in traditional masculinity. On the one hand, there is a lot of respect and deference towards women's chivalry, right? And on the other hand, women are objectified, they're seen as conquests,
Property.
chattel, right? Things
Sure.
like that. And even I'm the man, so I'm in charge. I do love you and I do respect you, but ultimately the buck stops with me,
Right.
right?
The head of the family.
The head of the family, right? Now, I'm not, there are definitely families where I've seen that work, and there are families where I've seen it not work,
Yeah.
you know? And even in the families where it works, it is very much like they say in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Let me tell you something, Tula. The man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And she can turn the head any way she wants.
But just this idea of, I am the ultimate decision maker. Aragorn challenges that as well. Because we look at the scene we're going to watch right now with Éowyn, and Éowyn wants to fight.
Yeah.
She wants to go to battle with the men. She doesn't want to tend to the women and children and the elderly and to comfort them and keep them calm underneath the catacombs. She wants to be out there slicing off orc heads and stuff.
Who wouldn't?
Right? But her uncle says she can't. So let's watch what Aragorn does here.
Okay.
You have some skill with a blade.
That doesn't
This
read to me
country
as
learned long
patronizing
ago.
when he says that.
Those without swords can still die.
It could
upon
so easily be a
them.
patronizing
I fear neither
line.
death nor pain.
Yeah. He's talking to a peer.
What do you fear, my lady?
A cage. To stay behind bars until use and old age accept them. And all chance of valor has gone beyond recall or desire.
You're a daughter of kings. A shield maiden of Rohan. I do not think that will be your fate.
Okay, so let's pause and let's talk about the zoom there. Why the zoom?
On Éowyn?
Yeah.
Because she is realizing something that he is communicating to her that she's never gotten. I don't think she's ever gotten from another man.
Yeah.
She's never gotten that acceptance that, no, I get it. You're not
Yeah.
just the cute thing that's going to stay at home. You're not just the person who's going to take care of the household while we go off to war. He's saying, yeah, you have value too.
He's saying you're the shield maiden of Rohan. Shield, like you belong in battle. And I love that you said acceptance and not permission.
Right.
Right? Because she doesn't need his permission.
She absolutely does. I mean, later in the films, she does not have permission and she rides to war anyway.
Ride with me.
But what she has from him is, I see you and I accept you. And it's not him giving her wings to fly or giving her power. It's him saying, I already recognize you have it. Because of the respect, that's what she finds attractive.
Yeah. That's when she falls in love instead of just admiration, respect. Ooh, he's pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Limiting masculinity teaches us power, fame, accomplishment, accolades, right? We chase these things. We chase the money. We chase all of this. Aragorn's not about any of that.
And all of that is an expression, all of those things that you listed are just an expression of dominance, right?
Yeah.
They're all, the limiting masculinity is dominant. I'm the one.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with being competitive, and there's nothing wrong
Sure,
with
yeah.
wanting to win. So let's see what happens with Aragorn when he inherits an entire kingdom. He is at the top of the food chain.
He has just saved all the free peoples of Middle Earth.
Well, what Frodo did was huge, right? But
Yeah,
the people of Middle Earth don't get that.
Right.
They didn't see him on the battlefield.
No, they saw Aragorn defeat one army,
Yeah.
lead an army to another army, and defeat that one.
So let's look at what happens here.
Oh, he also just got the girl, who's
Right.
an elf princess.
My friends.
You bow to no one.
Damn it. Every damn time.
Brad, don't laugh at the Frodo face.
It's Jono's face.
So, are you Frodo facing me right now? Because I'll Frodo face the hell
No,
out of you.
I can't. You have the Frodo. Jeez. Okay.
Sam.
You bow to no one.
Anyways, Elijah, we love you. Why do you cry every time you see this scene? Because I have a feeling it ties right into our theme.
Well, because I'm a Nancy boy. No,
Nancy I just had an image of you with like wearing lederhosen with a giant lolly and like a bowl cut. Nancy Boy Allen. No, it's okay.
That was toxic masculinity.
That was toxic masculinity. Push through that.
It makes me emotional every time because Aragorn showing so much respect for literally the littlest people. You know, hobbits are in Middle-earth. They're the smallest people. They're the weakest people. They're not concerned with the affairs of men, and they're not great warriors, and they're not all these things. They're not typically masculine. You know, they're these little guys. And he's saying that what they did is so much bigger than what he did.
Yeah.
And what he did is so massive.
Yeah.
You bow to no one.
I mean, talk about Aragorn and poetry, right? I mean, I think of men and how we are so much more fully realized as men when we acknowledge the efforts of others, the accomplishments of others. We're not threatened by somebody else doing something great. It doesn't take away from us. Or even taking a step back and giving
the limelight to someone else.
Yeah.
This is his coronation.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the Hobbit's coronation. He is the king of Gondor. This whole party is for him.
And he says, no, you guys. And so takeaways, we focus this towards men, this particular episode, but all of us, men, women, children, you know, non-binary, everybody, we can be strong and soft.
Yeah.
We can be courageous and consoling. The more fully rounded we are, the happier our lives are, the more connected we are, the more confident we are in ourselves. To me, that is the big takeaway from Aragorn.
The ideal of, you know, a traditionally sort of masculine viewed thing, kung fu, is strength and softness. Flow like water, strike like steel, right?
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if we can all learn how to be that complete person, then, you know, the world will just be a better place.
Yeah. Thank you all so very much for joining us. This is Cinema Therapy. If you would like to purchase or rent The Lord of the Rings, link is in the description. Meet with me for a free 15-minute consultation. Link is in the description. Follow us on social media.
@therapy_cinema. Like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you get all the notifications when we post stuff, which we do regularly.
So until next time, kiss your brothers on the forehead, let's hunt some orc, and
watch movies. That was great.